Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Harlem. So, this episode started out where it left off, and Camille is definitely in her feelings, and everybody knows it. She over here having a breakdown, thinking back on this man telling her that he is engaged to somebody else after she done poured her heart out to him. And it's like, why wouldn't you say that before? Like, why? So her friends can tell that something ain't right. They done all rolled up on her, and everything that they thought it was is exactly what it is. They see her eating ice cream, and so they're like, oh no. And she was like, oh, no, 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 no. It's perfectly fine to mourn a death. And she trying to make it seem like it's all about that woman who was supposed to be able to put her on so that she can get tenure getting fired. But it's like, girl, it's 99% the fact that Ian is getting married to somebody else. So stop the cap, stop the lies. There is no reason for all of that. These are your closest friends in all the world. What's the reason to lie? I don't get it. So anyway, Angela is trying to talk to her friends about whether or not she's going to take that role in Get Out, the musical on Broadway. And she's like, no, I ain't gonna take it. And I'm like, child, it's a mess. Like, it sounded a mess when it was presented to her, but it is what it is. We'll get to that as it gets closer. All the ladies went out somewhere, and Quinn got the event from off of Groupon, and it was like 10% off, and it's like a black girl magic type of situation, but it's looking kind of like they might have been duped into thinking that it was going to be more than what it is, but no. So they ended up going somewhere else, and they talking, and Quinn always gets on these apps trying to talk to these people. Everybody sound good, but they usually are trash. And it's to the point where she talking about, oh, we've been talking for a while. And Camille is like, okay, can we just fast forward to the part where you get catfished? And she's like, oh, what? And so Ty was like, yeah, we all were thinking it. I'm like, child, this is a mess. So anyway, it is what it is. So Ty is like, I have my Forbes interview in the morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and head out and give me some rest so I can be ready for that. And so everybody's proud of her for getting that because it is a major deal. Well, Camille is finally meeting the new head of the department, and it is the person who Whoopi Goldberg is playing on this show. So she feels like now she's definitely going to be a shoe-in, and that, she doesn't need to panic because she has followed this person's work. She lived for her and all of that. Cool, do what you do. And so in her mind, she's looking at her like, just because we black, it is what it is. But no. But it's crazy because she invited her to tea at her place. So she really feel like she about to be a shoe-in. Child, she finna be in for a rude awakening. We'll get to it. Don't worry. So Angie is broke, as we already know. And so she keeps stealing her friend's black card, Amex card, or whatever card it is. And she keeps ordering these Ubers. And I'm like, girl, it's bad enough that you're stealing the girl car, but I feel like she's using whatever the like luxury version of Uber is that people be talking about. I don't know what it is. I've never had to use that, but it's like some kind of luxury one because some people be doing helicopters and like bigger cars and luxurious cars, and it's like, why do you need a big SUV, heifer? You are not hot like that anymore. Like, you are not that girl. Why are you doing this? So the person who picked her up, they're having a whole vibe. And so she's like, oh my gosh, like they really are like into arts. And anytime she says something about, the black life and all of the things that encompasses the struggle that black people have to go through and the arts and how people like to downplay stuff and people like to do the least, and like, you want something of substance when it comes to black people, and that she don't want to put herself out there like that in a production like that, and it's trash. And like, he was like, yeah, people don't understand us because he's supposedly a poet, and like they really are vibing. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So anyway, Ty is at the office, and she is anxiously anticipating her interview with the people gonna be at Forbes. Child, remember that white woman that she went off and had a one night stand with, who ate her beef and broccoli leftovers? Yeah, that ended up being the person coming in there. So she turned around and saw her almost had a heart attack. So she was like, I did not know that you were going to be the interviewer. And she was like, I did not know that you were going to be the one who I was going to interview. So she was like, so you didn't even look me up? She was like, I had to step in last minute for somebody else. It is what it is. So anyway, the interview start. And so it's like they were like going back and forth because she was like, are you, pretty much having an issue with interracial dating? Because it's like this app is strictly for basically like non-white folks. Like if you white, it ain't got nothing to do with y'all. So she's trying to explain to her like it ain't got nothing to do with me not liking white folks or nothing like that. It's just the fact that y'all have it easy. Y'all don't have it hard out here like us to try to find a date. We are already queer. We are already of color and all of this other stuff. Y'all have it easy, whether you're straight, gay, or whatever. So that's why y'all are not included. And it's just been a back and forth. I was like, child, y'all doing a lot in your life. So anyway, this heifer, Angie, is still having her back and forth with old boy and enjoying themselves. And you can tell the vibe is really there. So the heifer get dropped off. She's so crazy. She didn't get this man her number. He didn't give her his number. And she over here trying to figure out how she's going to get in touch with him. So she in her feelings. Child, get over it. She just so, like, I understand, like, a vibe. I understand people having a good vibe, but it's like, you gotta, like, she really is, like, obsessing over it. It's like, it's not that deep. Camille and Ty are at Quinn's boutique, and they're trying to get ready. Now, Camille wants to have a nice outfit for tea later on that day, and Ty, she's going to actually have a photo shoot with Forbes. So the interview portion is already over. Now she wants to dress the part. So she's nervous about it and not sure, if the look is going to be the right look for her or whatever. And she's also nervous that the fact that the heifer who interviewed her was who she was. And so now she feel like she didn't have a fair chance. She wasn't expecting the questions that she asked. And then it seemed like it was personal. Like it was just a lot going on in that moment. So she don't want the interview to somehow be trash. And she wants to be able to let her know, like, this is what I firmly believe. This is what it is. Like, don't get it twisted. Because in her mind, she feels like I should be able to do what I'm doing and not be seen as a traitor to my community and all of this other stuff. Like, a lot of stuff she wants to convey. And she's nervous about this shoot. And so they're trying to tell her she's going to do good. It'll be all right. Reach back out to her and, settle it and let her know what it is that she need to know. And Camille is trying to encourage her. She was like, everything with me and Dr. Pruitt, I think that's what Whoopi Goldberg's name is on here. She was like, me and Dr. Pruitt, we started off on the wrong foot, but I fixed it. She invited me to tea. So she's, kind of having a little bit of hope. And I'm like, girl, again, little do you know. So yeah, it's just a lot. And don't nobody be wanting to hear what Quinn talking about. Quinn be trying to roll up and tell people this ignorant stuff. It's like you put yourself in these stupid situations. Don't nobody want to hear it, ma'am. Don't nobody care. So Quinn, Camille, and Ty are out walking. And then they see a spot that used to be like, I guess it was a black-owned business that has been closed down and now is being preoccupied by another place. Another company that you can tell is not a black-owned business. And so something that Camille does is, since she has this huge social media following, she'll, post her, the way that she says it is like anecdotal type of like way that she says stuff at times, or it's woke or what, like this the way that she says stuff. She'll post it and then hashtag it or whatever. And so there's probably going to be a protest because of this, right? And so she's wondering if she should go, and if she does do one or go to one, she wants to know if Ty and Quinn will come with her, and they're basically like, nah. Ty was even straight up like, I don't even know about all that because I ain't got time for my feet to be hurting. Like, no. So she was like, I don't know if I should do that. And then Ty was like, yeah, she is that girl that does stuff like that. She is for the people, if you will, but it's like Black Twitter, News One, like a lot of news outlets will cancel you before you even get started out here, because she's pretty much still like a small fish in a big pond. So it's like, girl, you ain't even really recognized like that out there like that. Yeah, you have wait lists for your class, but that's completely different than the whole world knowing about you. and then critiquing you off of the things that you're saying. And she's like, well, she might be right because old girl got canceled and fired. And I don't want to end up like that. And then somebody was like, oh, well, the black people might be more forgiving. And I mean, I hear you. And I mean, they gave Kanye as an example, but I'm like, y'all are forgetting. When y'all bring up people like that, 99% of the time you are bringing up a black man. They forgive these black men like it's nothing. Now, Chrisette Michele, at this point, she's pretty much still canceled, right? Oh, okay. And didn't Kanye still have heavy affiliations with old boy? Oh, okay. This heifer went and got a check because she wasn't getting money like that. And y'all canceled this heifer, and she been canceled since. I'm just saying. It's the double standard for me. I'm just saying, like, let's not act like we don't know what it is. Y'all trying to make it seem like, oh, well, black people, it won't be that bad when black people are involved. No, when black people are involved, they will cancel these women for the rest of life. They will be blackballed 99% of the time for the rest of their life. But then it's a black man, oh, they'll forget him tomorrow. And let a week pass by, it's over with. They back loving him as if nothing has happened. Let's call a spade a spade. It is what it is. I said what I said. So anyway, then later on we see Quinn and Angie talking, and Angie is just so kind of upset because the guy, I think his name is Emmanuel, she is like, oh, well, I don't want to miss out on my possible true love or whatever. This heifer talking about her man's name is Daniel. He is video verified. And Angie had to read her. It was like, girl, there's always something wrong with these men that you deal with. There's always something wrong with them. Girl, some kind of caveat that come with these men. I don't know what's wrong. It's something wrong with you. Something is wrong. Like, there is always something. It's always very much something. I don't know what it is, but this heifer might be cursed. But it's true though. And so she was like, well, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, I'm glad you are accepting the truth of the matter because it's always something with these people. But she getting ready for the date and she's hoping that, because she's trying to see like, okay, how should I dress? How should this makeup look? She look cute. It is what it is. So anyway, we end up seeing Camille go into the tea situation. She's thinking it's going to be a one-on-one situation. It's a whole function. And so she come up into the middle of a conversation where they're talking. And so she's talking about Seneca Village and all this stuff. And so she's like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? I did a thesis. I did this paper. I did this whatever on this, whatever. And so Dr. Pruitt is like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. And like, she really keeps trying to throw herself out there. She looking at her like, girl, I hear you, but you got to calm down. And then the student, I think the student's name is Nora. She, is already there at the function. And it's something that everybody named Mama was invited to. And it's kind of like a meet and greet. Don't nobody, like, the heifer just got there. She don't know none of these folks. Like, she literally was ushered in to take this woman's spot immediately. So I'm pretty sure that that's ultimately what this was. But the way that everybody else has been formally invited, I don't know. It was crazy. But anyway, we'll get into some more specifics as this series goes on, y'all. So anyway, Ty ended up having her meeting with old girl again. And so she was just telling her that the app that she created is necessary and people do not and should not have to explain why certain people should not be allowed to wear blackface and all this other stuff. Like, it's just so many social injustices and it's just so much stuff you have to just peel back, so much stuff you have to dig through just to be black and be queer and all this. So you add dating into it, it's like, all right, now it's just too much going on. So they kept doing this on the record, off the record. She keep turning the recorder on, turning the recorder off. And ultimately they was like, would you date somebody like me? Or is it just a situation where you would just screw somebody like me, but you would never date me because I'm white? And so she was like, well, I mean, are you the type of person that your friends like the idea of a person like me because I'm black? And you just would screw somebody like, well, you would be in a relationship with me because pretty much exotic. That's the word that most people use. Like, that's a classic word that people use. You are considered to be exotic. You are considered to be unique. Because you black in the situation. And so they kept doing on the record, off the record, and they're gonna go out on a date. Like, they are becoming a thing. And I'm just like, oh, you done went off. I mean, because she was just like, I should not have to deal with people saying to me, you dealing with a white woman, but you got all of this money. You done came up and now you got a white woman. Because that's something that a lot of people face. A lot of black people face that, because it's like, that's what it comes off as to a lot of people. So it's just a lot. And she's just like, girl, bye. So anyway, this dummy, Queen, is sat up here. And so she is at what she presumes to be the date. And I'm looking like, what kind of foolishness? I know this ain't what I think it is. There are several women in a room. And ultimately, this man, Daniel, has set this heifer up on a pyramid scheme. It's a whole pyramid scheme. And some heifer in the room gonna tap her on the shoulder and was like, so is the date gonna be after this or no? Like, girl, what is you talking about? It's the desperation for me. So anyway, we see Camille roll up on Dr. Pruitt, and she's talking to her. And it's like, every time she tried to talk to her one-on-one, she don't really get the answers that she thinks she's going to get. Dr. Pruitt, or whatever her last name is, child, she doesn't feel like Camille puts in enough hours in the field. She has a really, really big presence online, but she don't be out there like that. And so she trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, I understand what you're saying. Oh, okay, cool. And so now she's trying to let her know, like, oh, I got a protest coming up. Like, would you like to come or whatever? So she trying to let her know, I don't know if I'm going to come or not. It is what it is. We'll see if I come. So now she's thinking like, yeah, I'm definitely going to come. This is going to be my way to show her that I am about that life. And I can be out there in the field and be hands-on and not just see something, then say something about it online, and then that's the end of it. Because that's what it comes off as, in all honesty. So now we see Angie and Quinn at the house. So both of them are in their feelings because their love lives are trash. So Quinn ordered some cookies. And so they're in the middle of talking. And then all of a sudden when she goes to the door, the DoorDash person is Emmanuel. And so this heifer threw the box of cookies at this man, at Quinn. It was like, girl, this is my man, whatever. This heifer went out into the SUV and let this man provide oral pleasure to her. And now she trying to figure out, when are we gonna go to your place? And so he's like, this is my place. And he was like, what you talking about? She was like, what you talking about? He lives in the SUV. And so she tired, and she like, this don't even make no sense. And it's like, how you, at this point, you can't be mad. You living on your friend's couch. Like, you are one step from being homeless yourself, like literally in a box on the street. So you really can't talk. Like, I mean, I understand that it's kind of like, woo, wait a minute, the shock of it all. But it's like, girl, you ain't got it like that. So Camille is at this protest, and it's right outside the place. Child, she getting up there, setting it off. Next thing you know, Ian roll up like, what are you doing? Child, he is the chef at this place. And oh my gosh, they end up going off on each other. She done took him around the corner. They're going off. And he was like, what is wrong with you? This is where I work. And so the professor actually showed up. Dr. Pruitt actually showed up. Whatever her last name is. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, ended up finding out this is his place. And so Dr. Pruitt is there. So she feel like she's doing a good job. But this is his place. And, you know, she telling everybody to boycott this place. He done took his thing off. Child, he done took the little, it's some paper. I don't forget what you call it. That you take off of stuff that's covering stuff. And his whole name is up there. And so she looking crazy. But anyway, that's the episode, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the recap review for this. I have thoroughly enjoyed this show. It's been good to me. So yeah, please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Give this video a thumbs up. Apparently that does something. I don't know what, but yeah. Let's get down in the comments and discuss this. Like, what do you think about Ian? What do you think about Camille and how she feel about him and all of that? Child, what do y'all think about Quinn? Angie, all the friends. Anyway, I'll see y'all later.